Hello everyone, welcome back to My Room, My Way. Perfect little podcast every single morning. First off, just a quick announcement. How do you like this new background? Get rid of that boring gray wall and actually have some nice detail. I'm going to probably speak a tad bit louder, make sure my recording device can hear it from here. And also, this will probably be one of the last My Room, My Ways for me a week or so. I'm going on vacation. I won't have time to film these. So just beware of that. If you listened to yesterday's Finding Somewhere video, you probably already know that. But let's get into today's top story, which is you don't need major credentials anymore to become a Supreme Court justice. You just have to be a certain color and certain gender. And Supreme Court opinions have been fired recently, but will soon the courthouse be on fire due to protesters? We'll talk about that more. I'm your host, Max, and let's get started. So, Justice Breyer decided to retire, and good for him. He worked hard, and now he gets to live the rest of his life peacefully without dealing major rulings of our great nation of ours. So good for him. But who will replace him? Well, if you listened to a few months ago, we had a hearing of the new Supreme Court Justice, Ketanji Brown Jackson. Now, if you listen to it, you remember that she could not define what a woman was. She was asked the question, what is a woman? And she said famously, quote unquote, I'm not a biologist. So, we now live in a nation where you can't make simple looks at a person and figure out, well, he's male, he's female. Now you need to have a college degree to be a biologist to determine that. Hilariously enough, she does have credentials in law, which Ted Cruz, who oversaw this hearing, actually went to the same college as her, and can confirm that Ted Cruz said she's very well skilled, very well educated, but she doesn't rule like that. Now, in the famous case with child pornography, she slapped the guy on the back and gave him 3 months in jail. Not exactly a sentence you give a guy who did a serious crime like that. And there's many other cases where they went from under a year for a serious crime when it should have been somewhere around 5 to 10 years. So, this still means that Supreme Court, although Supreme Court's not supposed to be political, it's supposed to be apolitical, only ruled by the Constitution, like our great Clarence Thomas does, she would still make the Supreme Court 6 Republican, 3 Democrat. Or truly 5 Republican, 4 Democrats, because Justice Roberts is sometimes iffy. So, this won't do much change, but as Ted Cruz said on the Michael Knowles podcast, that this could actually be a good play into the Republican move, since if they're going to be political, why not we? Let's always exploit a moment us conservatives when we get a chance. So now we can actually use this to our advantage, because Justice Breyer was a very reasonable person. That's how he could get people like Kavanaugh and Justice Roberts on the side. But the thing about Ketanji Brown Jackson is she's way too far to the left of Breyer. So, as Breyer was probably on the moon, she is on Jupiter. She is too far to the left that sensible people like Robert and Kavanaugh will not agree with her. So, more regulations like the overturning of Roe v. Wade, guns right, and the freedom of religion will be coming straight your way. But how did she get qualified? Just like our press secretary, Jean-Pierre. You have to be black, woman, and, well, not in her case, but in Jean-Pierre's case, gay. So, we now go away from credentials saying you have 2 very good degrees, so we're going to let you on this court because we've proven that you rule good, that you do your job correctly, and you are very qualified. Now it just have to be, are you black? Are you female? Are you a minority? Are you some way systemically oppressed? And that's how we make decisions. So the thing about that, the left would actually truly like Clarence Thomas, Justice Clarence Thomas. But they don't. Because same case like why they don't like Tim Scott, why they don't like Candace Owens, they think for themselves. They don't follow what what the Democrat overlords tell them to do. They don't tell them, you're black, you're suppressed by the Republicans. The Republicans are the ones who were the slaves, who owned you as slaves. Although all that was completely infactual, due to the Democrats being the South during the Civil War era and most rich Democrats owning slaves, and the Ku Klux Klan being founded by Democrats, and even President Joe Biden being an infamous racist, they can still get away with this lie. Because, not being racist here, but majority of black America needs welfare, just due to areas where they live and due to circumstances. So they can gain that as vote. But people like Justice Clarence Thomas, Senator Tim Scott, and podcaster Candace Owens, the reason why they've denied their black privilege in a sense is because they said, yeah, I came from bad roots, but I made this name for myself. Candace Owens was raised by her grandfather. Now look at her, one of America's most popular podcasters and talk show hosts. Look at Clarence Thomas. He came from, again, the same situation, being raised by his grandmother and grandfather, and now he's a Supreme Court justice. And Tim Scott grew up in Columbia, South Carolina, and is now one of the great senators of the United States. But they got there not saying, oh, I'm oppressed, white people are racist against me. They got there just physically hard work and grind, which left does not like that. So they'll call these people dirty names like Uncle Tom and a whole list of other things that are very nasty and can't be said on YouTube. So now I got that out of the way, let's talk about Supreme Court decisions, since Supreme Court has been on fire for the last 2 weeks. With the overturning Roe v. Wade, reasserting that the Second Amendment is still a thing, and also reasserting that you can have the freedom of religion, that no one can watch over you. This has angered the majority of America, I would say probably 25% of Americans, and I'm talking about the college kids. Because although they can still give abortion, they can still ban guns in their states, they're angry that other states may ban abortion. So, of course they are protesting. But remember, when conservatives are let into the Capitol, that's an insurrection. But, like we saw in 2020 with the Black Lives Matter protests, if you protest unpeacefully, burn down businesses, but if the party supports you, that's called peaceful protest. So we'll have to see soon. Good thing is, our Supreme Court justices are being protected, although after an attempted assassination attempt on Justice Kavanaugh. They're not being protected. Supreme Court is protected, and we just have to wait to see. It seems like they died down because Democrats aren't famous for having much energy due to the soy amount they consume. So, that's all I have for you guys. I'll see you next time I upload. This was Myra My Way.